half. Just can't win. They're as beat up as my NFL team this year. Good Lord. We got Colchester coming up. The FAW Welsh Youth Cup. Well, it doesn't look like much is going on here. So that is cool that brings that up, though, that we can look at all that. We also get our players back from international duty. Yeah, my nephew's okay. He just had a question. We're trying to do a vacation for my mom to surprise her. And we're having to do it behind the scenes. And he's like, we're coming up on a 90-day window that we have to get into. And he was like freaking out about something. And I had to give him some answers. But yeah, it's the youngest one. He never calls me. So I thought it was something bad, but it was just that. I guess for him, it's the end of the world. But, So. All right, another monthly staff meeting. I think Will Forrester should be taking penalties. Well, I get to pick those whenever, so. I believe Ethan Burnett shouldn't be taking corners. He has no talent for him, whatever. Sharnar Dakwa is seen as a regular starter, but I recommend changing him to a fringe player. He will pout if he does that. Doyle is ready to become part of the under-23 squad, as he would only be a fringe player for the time being. What is he on now? He must be under 18s. He's a youngster. Don't have him on any of my other stuff, so it must be somebody they signed. That's fine. Well, one night they called me. I was already in bed, and it was my youngest nephew who lives here in town, and they were like, we need you to run over there. His fire alarm has went off. ADT's called us. He's not answering his phone. So I had to jump out of bed, jump in my truck. I'm running across town trying to get there, running red lights. And I almost get there, and then they call me like, okay, we got a hold of him. He's not even home. One of his roommates caught the stove on fire, but everything's okay. It's like, what? But, you don't know. You'd hate to, not race over there and then, something did happen. You wouldn't be able to live with yourself. Or I wouldn't. Oh, I didn't do anything to the roommate. My nephew and my brother, who pays that ADT bill, evidently tore into him. I don't worry about things that I don't pay for. And I don't worry about people that don't pay my bills. So there's very few people that I worry about. It's a good life lesson for you all. Well, that's what they did is here's the part they tried to, I guess the box in the house. They tried to call my nephew. He didn't answer. And I guess they got confused where it's the same last name. So they call my brother and they go, we're getting a fire signal from your house. And my brother's like, I just talked to my wife. There's no fire there. Hey, Twisted.
Steven 299 Drakes, Steven 299 Drakes, Steven 299 Drakes.
Thank you for being.
Oh, thank you, Twisted. Let me throw some hypes in the chat. So anyway, they called my brother and told him he had a fire alarm, and he's like, well, let me call my wife back. And he calls her and he goes, hey, is everything okay? And she goes, yeah. He goes, is the living room on fire? And she goes, I'm sitting here watching TV. No. And so he calls ADT back and he's like, what address are you calling me about? And they're like, we're calling you about your home. Are you sure? And they had to re-verify all this stuff. And then he's like, they gave him the address. He's like, that's my son's address. Why didn't you call him? And so that was the whole mess up. Evidently, they tried on the box in the apartment, though, to talk to the roommate who caught the stove on fire, and they wouldn't talk back to ADT. So they did call the fire department, The fire department shows up, so they're going to have to pay the bill for that and all sorts of nonsense. So yeah, it's a big like just cluster.
And his name is John C.
Hey, Veggie 1999.
Stove on fire.
The stove is indeed.
Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Throw some hypes in the chat for that as well. Oh my God, what have I done? I have clicked something and broke everything. There we go. Hey, Patrick Zito. Again, we're only breaking into... Oh no, we got some guys on the starting. 4 of your players were selected. Rohan Luthra, Odell Afia, and Michael Collins all made. Archie Woods is on here too, but they don't have him listed. Oh, it only listed those 3. So Woods was on there as well. Patrick Zito was a substitute. Shaka was injured. He tore his abdominal muscle on loan. So even our players on loan are getting injured. But thank you all so much for subbing. I do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Like, we're just getting bit by the injury bug. It's not even players that are here. We got to be a goldfish. As Ted Lasso would say, we have to be a goldfish. All right, let's look at the national under 18s. I don't think anything's really changed on this. Maybe I need to up the time period we look at these things. Is the under 18 Football League Youth Alliance Cup. Under 18 Professional Development League. 3 goals. A Billy Salisbury. We will scout him. There's that Ugochukwu Monday. I think we're already scouting. Well, maybe we're not. All right, we'll scout him. Oh my God, what a name on the 17-year-old from Albania. Odysseus Eleftheriadis. Eleftheriadis. Well, I'll scout him. His parents must have hated him to give him that first and last name. I bet in kindergarten he hated himself. Okay, kids, we're going to write our name today. He just started crying. I felt the same way with my last name. It took me a long time to figure it out. It's like Mississippi. There's a lot of S's going on. Scottish Advanced Youth League. %96 completion of passing. That's not bad. In 4 games. Here's another midfielder who's got good passing. We'll scout him. Momodo Jatai. Okay, these guys are a little bit too old for me.
FBI, open up!
Let me go in here to my preferences again and change this custom screen flow. Let's go every week. All right, that's set up. Let's move on. Someday I'll learn how to use ScreenFlow to a better degree. Maybe Jack White will let us recruit farther away, too. Roger's issues are Darkwa promise reminder. I'd like you to remind you made Sean our Darkwa promise, which he is expecting to be fulfilled. Have we not been giving him a lot of practice time? We got 31 days left and it's almost all the way up. So I'm not sure what they're mad about. He literally started the last game. Since you all showed me all these promises that I have to keep. Promises? Who keeps promises?